Okay, welcome back. We're here with part 3 of this lesson. The next thing we want to do is have Gunsmoke appear from nothing. Well, first of all, let's make sure that we've lined it up properly. So before we go any further, let's check that out. I'm going to go to Properties here. Under Color Effect, I'm going to change the style to Alpha. And I'm going to change the Alpha to 0. Or 50, actually, excuse me. I'm going to change to 50 first. I want to just check here really quick to make sure I've lined it up properly. And you know what? It looks lined up. It looks pretty good. Nintendo of America is there. 1988. Looks good. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the alpha and take it and put it all the way down. It's going to disappear. We're not going to be able to see it, but trust me, it's still there. It's just transparent. The other thing I'm going to do is give it an instance name. An instance name is if I want to refer to this object in my library, I need to give it an instance name. And this is an instance of the original movie clip, right? So, which is the graphic in my library. So how do we give it an instance name? Well, first of all, make sure it's selected with your selection tool. Remember, the selection tool is that first tool on the list here. And when you've clicked on that, under Properties, you'll see Instance Name. Here, I'm going to type in the instance name I want to give it, which, if I remember correctly, we call it Stage 01, all lowercase letters, no spaces for instance name, and then background with a capital B. So it's humpbacked, and what that means is generally the rule of thumb with instance names, kind of the norm, is to capitalize the second word, the first letter of the second word in the instance name. There's no spaces and it can't start with a number, so keep those things in mind. So we have Stage 01 background. I'm going to press enter so it applies it. And now anytime I say Stage 01 background, it is going to refer to this thing here. We're also going to go over here to our layer 1 and rename it. I'm going to double click that and I'm going to call it background. And I'm also going to lock it so I don't accidentally mess with it. I'm going to create a new layer, call that new layer AS. So I'm going to double click AS, and I'll also lock that because I don't want to accidentally put anything on that layer. We're going to type in some code here. So we're going to open up our actions. I'm going to make sure I'm on the AS layer, which stands for ActionScript, and you can either go to Window and click on Actions or press the F9 key on your keyboard. Here we're going to type in some code. I'm going to type in on enter frame, E and F are capitalized, equals function. We're creating an on enter frame function. Make a space, open close parentheses, open curly bracket. We're going to skip a line and close that curly bracket and put a semicolon at the end of that. On line 2, where we skipped a space, we're going to make an if statement. We're going to type in if, open parentheses, and now we're going to type in the condition. So if you remember from prior lessons, a condition is, if some requirement is met, some condition is met, it's going to do whatever I say within a certain area, within those curly brackets that we're going to create in just a second. So my condition is this: if Stage 01 background. Now this is the instance name that we created for our stage. Make sure that you type it exactly the same. It is case sensitive, so watch out for that. Stage 01 background dot underscore alpha. So it's going to check to see the value of alpha for Stage 01, the movie clip Stage 01 background, is less than 100. 100 would be where it's perfectly, like you can see it and it's not transparent at all. So while it's transparent basically is what we're saying, close parentheses, open curly bracket, skip a line, and close another curly bracket. This one does not need a semicolon, so don't do that. Go up to line 3 here. You'll notice we have 2 open curly brackets and 2 closed curly brackets. Every time you open one, of course, you have to close it. So here we're going to type in Stage 01 background dot underscore alpha plus equals 1. And we'll put a semicolon at the end of that line so that it knows that line is done. Stage 01 background dot underscore alpha plus equals 1 what it's going to do is every time it enters the frame, which we set at 24 times per second, it's going to do all of this stuff between this curly bracket and this curly bracket. Within that, I said if the stage alpha is less than 100, add 1 to the value of whatever the alpha is. So the first time it goes through, it's going to be 0. It's going to add 1 to it. Alpha becomes 1. It goes through again, and alpha is now 1. It's going to check to see if it's less than 100, which it is. It adds 1 to it. So now alpha is 2. Goes through it again. Now alpha is 2. Is 2 less than 100? Yes, it is, and does it again. So to go through until alpha becomes 100, and at that point, it will stop doing this. So that's basically what we just did. I'm going to press Control S on my keyboard to save it. I'm going to run my code, and we can also run a check here to check to see if we have any errors, which I don't. I'm going to press Control Enter, and we see Gunsmoke coming in from nothingness. That's part 3 for you. Come back for part 4.